Hello and welcome back to Understanding Depression, the podcast where we explore the many dimensions of mental health with warmth, compassion, and evidence-based insight. I'm so glad you're here. Today's topic is something truly empowering, something that many of us might already have access to, without even realizing its full potential. We're talking about exercise not as a fitness goal, not as punishment, not as a way to chase some perfect body, but as a natural antidepressant. Yes, exercise in all its forms, walking, dancing, stretching, lifting, or cycling, has been shown to play a remarkable role in supporting our mental health. But how exactly does it work? Is it as effective as medication or therapy? And what if you're feeling too low to even get out of bed? These are the questions we'll explore today. We'll look at the science, the practicalities, and the real-life stories behind how movement can help lift the weight of depression. If you're someone who has ever felt overwhelmed, exhausted, or numb, if you've wondered whether exercise could really make a difference, this episode is for you. And if you've already found some relief through movement, I invite you to stay, reflect, and maybe learn something new. This isn't about being perfect. It's about finding small ways to support your mind, even when everything feels heavy. So grab a cup of tea, or lace up your shoes if you're on a walk. And let's take this journey together. Stay with me. This is going to be a hopeful and deeply grounding conversation. Let's begin with what's happening inside your brain when you exercise, because that's where the magic starts. When we move our bodies, whether we're jogging, gardening, or even dancing in our living room, we stimulate the release of powerful chemicals in the brain. These include endorphins, dopamine, serotonin, and norepinephrine, all of which are closely tied to mood regulation. Endorphins are often called the body's natural painkillers. They're released during physical activity and help reduce the perception of pain while creating a feeling of well-being or even mild euphoria. It's what people mean when they talk about a runner's high. Then there's dopamine, which plays a crucial role in motivation, reward, and pleasure. People with depression often experience low levels of dopamine, making it harder to feel joy or excitement. Exercise, especially consistent aerobic activity, can help restore a healthier dopamine balance. Serotonin is another big player. Often associated with mood, sleep, and appetite, serotonin is the primary neurotransmitter targeted by many antidepressant medications. But guess what? Physical activity can also naturally boost serotonin levels, helping to ease feelings of sadness, anxiety, and emotional fatigue. And let's not forget norepinephrine. This one's tied to alertness and energy. Exercise helps regulate the release of norepinephrine, which can improve focus and reduce that mental fog that often comes with depression. But it's not just chemicals. Exercise also stimulates brain plasticity, which means it supports the brain's ability to adapt, heal, and grow. Studies show that regular movement increases the size of the hippocampus, the part of the brain involved in memory and emotion, which tends to shrink in people with depression. In short, movement does what many antidepressants are designed to do, but naturally, and with additional physical and emotional benefits. So while exercise isn't a cure-all, it can be a powerful piece of the puzzle. The brain literally responds to movement with growth, repair, and a chemical rebalancing that supports emotional health. Coming up next, we'll take a deeper look at scientific studies from around the world that have tested exercise as a treatment for depression. The results might surprise you. Stay with me. So, we've talked about the chemistry of exercise. Now let's dive into the research, the evidence that backs up the claim that movement can help treat depression. One of the most well-known studies in this field was conducted by researchers at Duke University. In a groundbreaking trial, they compared 3 groups of people with major depressive disorder. One group took antidepressants, another did aerobic exercise, and a third did both. The result? After 16 weeks, all 3 groups showed significant improvement in their depression symptoms. But here's the twist. The exercise-only group had the lowest relapse rate when followed up 6 months later. That's huge. Another study, published in the journal Psychosomatic Medicine, found that regular aerobic exercise was as effective as Zoloft, a common antidepressant, in reducing symptoms of major depression, especially in mild to moderate cases. Researchers have also looked at meta-analyses, which combine results from multiple studies to get a broader picture. In 2016, a large review in the Journal of Psychiatric Research concluded that exercise significantly reduces symptoms of depression across age groups, genders, and cultures. What's even more compelling is that even low-intensity exercise, like walking 30 minutes a day, 5 times a week, showed measurable improvements in mood and anxiety. And it's not just in young, healthy people. Studies show that older adults, teenagers, and even those with chronic illness experience mental health benefits from regular physical activity. There's one more insight worth mentioning. Scientists now believe that inflammation may play a role in depression. And guess what helps regulate inflammation? You got it, regular movement. To summarize, the science tells us that exercise can be as effective as medication in many cases. It helps prevent relapse. It works across different age groups and health conditions. And even modest activity levels can create meaningful changes. But let's be real. Knowing that something works doesn't always make it easy to do, especially when you're depressed. So next, we'll talk about the kinds of exercise that tend to work best, and why you don't need to run marathons to feel better. Stay with me. By now, you might be wondering, okay, I get that exercise helps, but what kind of exercise is actually best when you're feeling depressed? The answer might be simpler than you expect. While there's no one-size-fits-all solution, research consistently shows that aerobic exercise, the kind that gets your heart rate up, tends to have the strongest mood-lifting effects. This includes walking briskly, jogging or running, cycling, swimming, dancing. Aerobic activities help release endorphins and increase blood flow to the brain. In fact, walking for just 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week has been shown to significantly reduce symptoms of depression over time. But here's the key. It doesn't need to be intense. Studies have shown that moderate exercise, done consistently, is just as effective, and sometimes even better, than intense workouts. That's because it's easier to stick with, especially when you're low on energy or motivation. Now, what about strength training? Surprisingly, resistance training like lifting weights or using resistance bands has also been linked to improved mood and decreased depressive symptoms. In one 2018 meta-analysis, researchers found that people who engaged in strength training 2 or more times per week had significant improvements in their mental health, even when they didn't gain much physical strength. And then there's yoga and stretching. These more mindful forms of movement help reduce cortisol, the body's stress hormone, and promote a sense of calm and connection. Yoga has even been shown to improve sleep, reduce anxiety, and help with emotional regulation, all of which are crucial when dealing with depression. In short, aerobic exercise lifts mood quickly. Strength training builds long-term resilience. Yoga and stretching soothe the nervous system. But the best type of exercise is the one you can actually do. The one that feels manageable. The one that doesn't make you dread it. That might mean dancing in your room, walking your dog, or stretching in bed. And that's perfectly valid. Coming up next, we'll hear about real people who found relief and healing through movement, even when they started from a place of deep struggle. Stay with me. Their stories might reflect something in your own. Let's take a moment to step away from data and theory and listen to what real people have experienced when they turn to movement as a part of their healing. Anna, a 29-year-old graphic designer, had been struggling with persistent depression for over 2 years. After trying 2 different antidepressants with mixed results, her therapist gently suggested trying movement, not as a replacement, but as a complement to her care. I started walking, just 10 minutes a day around my apartment complex, she said. At first it didn't feel like much, but by the 3rd week, I noticed I wasn't crying every morning. It wasn't magic, but it gave me the sense that I was doing something, and that changed everything. Then there's Marcus, a 42-year-old father of 2 who experienced burnout and depression after a divorce. Lifting weights saved my life, he shared. It gave me a routine, structure, and something to focus on besides the pain. I didn't care about muscles. I just needed something solid to hold on to when my thoughts felt like quicksand. Rena, a 19-year-old college student, found hope in yoga. Anxiety and depression made me feel disconnected from my own body, she said. But yoga helped me come back into it. Even if it was just laying on a mat and breathing deeply for 5 minutes, it reminded me I'm alive and that I deserve to take care of myself. These aren't isolated cases. Therapists, support groups, and mental health programs worldwide now integrate movement as part of treatment, not because it's trendy, but because it works. It's important to say this. Movement didn't cure these individuals. It didn't erase trauma or magically resolve everything, but it gave them tools. It helped shift their energy, both physically and emotionally. It helped them reconnect with life. Maybe you'll find a piece of your own story in theirs. Or maybe you're at the beginning of your journey, wondering if this could really work for you. That's okay. Healing doesn't have a timeline. Just know that you're not alone, and every small step counts. In the next part, we'll explore how to build an exercise habit that sticks, especially when you're dealing with depression, fatigue, or low motivation. Stick around. You might be surprised how gentle the starting line can be. Let's be honest. When you're in the grip of depression, even getting out of bed can feel impossible, let alone putting on shoes and going for a jog. That's why the first step isn't about pushing harder. It's about starting smaller, gentler, more human. Because here's the truth. Motivation doesn't always come before action. Often it comes after action, especially with depression. So how do you begin when you're struggling? 1. Lower the bar like really low. Instead of aiming for 30 minutes of cardio, start with 1 minute of stretching, or walk to your mailbox, or stand up and move your arms in circles for 30 seconds. That counts. That's movement. That's progress. 2. Attach movement to something you already do. Do you make coffee in the morning? While it brews, do a few gentle squats or shoulder rolls. Do you scroll your phone? Try pacing the room while you do it. 3. Use music or emotion as a cue. Put on one song you love, something that lifts you or soothes you. And let your body respond. Sway, stretch, nod, tap your foot. Let it be natural. There's no right way to move. 4. Track effort, not outcome. If you did anything, celebrate it. Don't measure by distance or calories. Measure by courage, by your willingness to show up even in a tiny way. 5. Consider accountability, but gently. Maybe you text a friend when you walk, or join a small online group for encouragement, or use a journal to log your progress with kind, non-judgmental words. 6. Be radically kind to yourself when you miss a day. You are not lazy. You are not failing. You're navigating something incredibly hard, and you deserve compassion, not criticism. And finally, remember that exercise isn't a punishment. It's not a test of willpower. It's an act of connection, a message to your body and brain that says, you matter. I'm here. I'm trying. Coming up next, we'll talk about how to combine exercise with other forms of mental health care, and why a holistic approach can create even more powerful results. Don't go anywhere. We're just getting to the good part. Exercise is powerful, but let's be clear. It's not a standalone cure for everyone. Depression is a complex, multifaceted condition. It's biological, psychological, social, and sometimes spiritual. That's why the most effective treatment plans often include multiple layers of support. Let's explore how movement fits into the bigger picture. 1. Exercise and medication. Some people need antidepressants to regulate brain chemistry, and that's absolutely valid. Research shows that exercise can boost the effectiveness of medication, especially in people with treatment-resistant depression. It may help improve side effects like fatigue, low energy, and sleep problems, making meds easier to tolerate and more beneficial overall. 2. Exercise and therapy. Physical movement complements talk therapy beautifully. While therapy helps you explore thoughts, patterns, and trauma, exercise helps release built-up tension from the body. Some therapists even prescribe movement homework, like mindful walking, yoga poses, or journaling after a workout, to help clients connect their emotional and physical selves. 3. Exercise and mindfulness. When combined with mindfulness techniques, exercise becomes even more therapeutic. Think of mindful walking, Tai Chi, or simply noticing how your breath and heartbeat change during movement. This mind-body awareness builds emotional regulation improves focus, and increases compassion toward yourself and others. 4. Exercise and social support. Group exercise, whether in a gym, online class, or neighborhood walk, provides community and structure. For many, this reduces feelings of isolation, builds connection, and reinforces the habit through shared experience. Even a weekly check-in with a friend or movement buddy can create a sense of accountability and emotional safety. So rather than seeing exercise as a replacement for other forms of help, see it as a teammate, a silent but powerful ally that enhances whatever healing tools you're already using. The takeaway: you don't have to choose between therapy, medication, mindfulness, or movement. You can blend them, tailor them, let them support each other, and support you as you move toward feeling better. Next, we'll tackle a common barrier: how to stay motivated, especially during hard times or setbacks. Stay tuned, the journey continues, and you're doing better than you think. Let's be real. No matter how inspired you feel right now, there will be days when you just don't want to move. Days when your brain says, "What's the point?" When your body feels heavy. When depression whispers lies like, "You're too far gone." And that's okay, because motivation isn't linear. Especially when you're healing, what matters more than perfection is persistence. Showing up again and again and again in whatever way you can. Here are some ways to stay anchored through the rough patches. 1. Expect setbacks and normalize them. Just like waves in the ocean, your energy and mood will rise and fall. That's not failure, it's human. When you expect hard days, you won't be surprised by them. You'll meet them with grace. 2. Focus on identity, not just outcomes. Instead of saying, "I need to exercise," try shifting to, "I'm someone who takes care of my mental health." This reframes movement as part of who you are, not just something you do. 3. Keep a why list. Write down 3 to 5 reasons why you want to move. Things like to feel clearer, to sleep better, or to reconnect with my body. Look at the list when motivation is low. It reminds you that this isn't about weight or willpower. It's about healing. 4. Revisit what counts as exercise. Movement doesn't have to mean running or sweating buckets. Watering your plants, dancing in your kitchen, walking your dog, taking the stairs. It all counts, especially when done with intention. 5. Forgive yourself always. Missed a week? A month? A season? That doesn't erase your effort. You can always restart gently. Progress is never lost. It's waiting for you patiently. And here's the beautiful part. Every time you come back, you're building resilience. You're teaching your brain that it's safe to try again. And every small action becomes a statement. I haven't given up on myself. In our final section, we'll wrap everything together with a gentle summary, encouragement, and a reminder that healing is a journey, and you're not walking it alone. We've explored a lot together. The science, the stories, the strategies, how movement changes your brain, how it lifts mood, strengthens identity, and connects you with something deeper. A sense of agency, of care, of self. But before we close, let's take a breath and remember the heart of this whole conversation. You are not broken. If depression has dimmed your spark, if you feel stuck or numb or exhausted, you are not lazy, weak, or beyond help. You're going through something real, something hard, and you're doing the best you can. Exercise isn't a magic solution. It won't fix everything, but it can be a gentle light, a way forward, a quiet practice of reclaiming joy, even in the smallest ways. It's about meeting your body where it is, not where it should be. It's about saying, I care about myself enough to move, even just a little, and that little can become a lot. So what really matters in the end? Not perfection, not performance, but presence. Consistency over intensity, compassion over comparison. You're allowed to move slowly. You're allowed to rest. And you're allowed to try again, as many times as you need. Thank you for listening today. If this episode helped you, or if you think someone else might need to hear it, please don't hesitate to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let's keep this conversation going and build a community where healing feels possible. You're not alone in this. We see you. We honor your journey. And we're walking beside you, one step, one breath, one gentle movement at a time.